Is this thing on? Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Welcome back, everyone. When something as suspicious as the sudden delaying and rejigging of a movie franchise slate happens, it is my responsibility as your YouTuber who you subscribe to for this very reason to be that dog with that bone and keep on digging and digging until I get to the truth. Now, I want you to bear with me while I read you a very old article from May the 25th of 2017, and then you'll understand what I'm attempting to get to here. Joss Whedon takes over Justice League. This is the International The News, May the 25th, 2017. Heartbreaking tragedy can strike anyone, anytime, and sometimes there are no easy answers, just unsettling questions. That is the only thought that comes to mind when one thinks of Zack Snyder's decision to step away from DC Comics' major superhero ensemble fest, Justice League. Heartbreaking tragedy can strike anyone, anytime, and sometimes there are no easy answers, just unsettling questions. That is the only thought that comes to mind when one thinks of Zack Snyder's decision to step away from DC Comics' major superhero ensemble fest, Justice League. The outspoken director who took over the Batman franchise once Christopher Nolan ended his trilogy and is directing the multiple superhero saga has reportedly stepped down from direction duties in the aftermath of his 20-year-old daughter's recent death. Since work on the film had begun earlier, it is likely that the credits will include Zack Snyder as director, but Joss Whedon will be credited separately. The death occurred in March, after which Snyder went back to work but pulled out earlier this week. So, let me just stop myself there. So, Zack's daughter died in March, but he only stepped away on May the 24th or May the 25th. So Zack was okay to work from March to May. Think about that for a minute. After which Snyder went back to work but pulled out earlier this week, and the film will now be finished by Joss Whedon, who has helmed major productions like The Avengers and Avengers 2, Age of Ultron in the past. Snyder, while speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, revealed his reasons, which included prioritizing family during what is surely a difficult time. In my mind, I thought it was a cathartic thing to go back to work, to just bury myself and see if that was the way through it. The demands of this job are pretty intense, it is all-consuming, and in the last 2 months, I've come to the realization I've decided to take a step back from the movie to be with my family, be with my kids who really need me. They are all having a hard time. I'm having a hard time in the end. It's just a movie. It's a great movie, but it's just a movie, obviously, yeah? The death of his daughter and his grief and his wife's grief and the grief of his other children is more important than a movie. Of course it is. But he was on the gig for another 2 months when his daughter died, right? It makes sense that Snyder asked Whedon to finish the film. It makes sense that Snyder asked Whedon to finish the film, since he also set to direct Batgirl, which is another DC Comics project, much like Justice League. So that's the article. Imagine what kind of people you're talking about in Toby Emmerich. Toby Emmerich is still involved with Warner Brothers today. We'll get to my point. We'll get to my point of what this video is titled. We all know why we're here, and we're going to discuss it. Not only did they force Zack off the movie because he had no fight to protect his project because he was mourning his daughter, the real reason he left the production, they forced a grieving father to go to the Hollywood Reporter and lie to the public of the reasons why he was leaving. And then they lied that Zack Snyder got Joss Whedon to replace him Just to finish off the movie, this is the kind of people you are dealing with. These are the facts, everyone. So, since all these movies have been delayed, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has reacted. In fact, wanted to make sure his fans knew before the press released it. Very good of Dwayne, by the way. I respect that. James Wan has commented, saying nearly all his film is VFX and they needed more time. Now, I don't believe that, but fine, right? So who else? David F. Sandberg. Yes, he's responded as well. Everybody has responded apart from Andy Muschietti, the director of the Flash movie. In fact, I just checked, and the last time he posted was on February of this year when they released 2022 Needs Heroes. You know the trailer we've been discussing, the one they had in theatres up to last week, right? That's the last time he posted anything. He is the only director who hasn't come onto social media to respond to this news. Why? Bit weird though, isn't it? Every other director has responded apart from him. Could it be that Toby Emmerich is going to repeat his actions of 2017 and remove Andy Muschietti as director of The Flash? No, Mick, it's ridiculous. Why would he do that? Why would they delay the film for 7 months? Oh, sorry, I forgot. VFX, of course. Just like, you see, I'm trying to prove a point. Just like Zack and Joss were best mates and Zack went out and put Joss in charge of Justice League. It was a lie. And this VFX thing is a lie. And you can believe it if you want. I don't get to police your opinions, but you don't get to police my opinions either. That's the beautiful thing of having your own YouTube channel. You should try it. It's brilliant. It's very cathartic, enriching. But the point here is, why isn't Andy talking? Why hasn't Andy said anything? Where's Barbara? Where's Barbara Muschietti? I'll check her out in a minute and see if she's mentioned it. In fact, if I've got any reception here, right, wait 1 minute, right, I'm going to pause this video, and right here while I'm doing this now, I'm going to check on Barbara Muschietti's Instagram. So I've just checked. The last time she posted on her feed was February the 20th, but I know Barbara does a lot on her story. Obviously, the stories only last for 24 hours. So if anyone recently has seen Barbara post, please let me know. And Barbara and her brother Andy, who's directing the movie, are a team. She does most of the talking, actually. She's even spoken to fans sometimes about what, you know, when they've asked questions, is this one going to be on it? You know, in the film, is this going to happen? She's quite good. So they're both gone quiet. They're both on silent mode. What does that tell you? As I said this morning on the DCEU Daily, it's about behavioural patterns. Toby Emmerich Toby Emmerich's behavioural patterns are very consistent. Wonder Woman 84 is supposed to be released in 2019. It gets delayed to 2020. A global pandemic hits, movie gets delayed and they don't make any money because of said pandemic. But if they released it in 2019, they probably would have made 600 to 800 million, right? Because of the first film, people would have gone out to see this film, whatever they thought. Probably would have had big drop-offs, but it would have done okay, right? So there you go. That's your Toby Emmerich, right? He was responsible for what happened with Justice League, right? And now we're getting all these delays all of a sudden. And as I said this morning, it's all down to the Flash movie. So, do I really believe that they're going to replace Andy Muschietti as Flash director? How long we got? 7 months, right? Well, Zack stepped down on May the 25th, or that's when it was announced, of Justice League, right? Now, if I remember rightly, Justice League, the theatrical cut of Justice League was released in November. So let's get this right. June, July, August, September, October. he barely had 6 months to make the movie, right? Using a lot of Zack stuff as well, but cutting it down. So there's 7 months. No, actually, there's more. The movie is actually delayed for 7 months, right, from when it was going to be released. But we're now in March. Just think about this. April, May, June, July, August. Actually, I don't even have to count. They have actually got over a year to remake this movie, if they want. No, Mick. No way, Mick. You're dead wrong about this, Mick. I'm not saying I'm right. But you know, I was on Twitter and I was thinking about everyone responding to this news, all the directors. But Andy Muschietti's quiet. Now, Andy Muschietti isn't an outspoken guy anyway. You can't comment. Very few people can comment on his Instagram. He's actually got a setting on there so people don't tag him, because I've tried to tag him from when I was really excited about this film, you know. I still believe in Andy Muschietti as a director. This is not down to him. His gig was to direct somebody else's movie, basically. That's his responsibility. So I feel bad for Andy and Barbara, especially if they're going to be removed. But they've gone very, very quiet. And I believe, if let me say this because I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that normally Barbara would comment or make a post, because Barbara's the one who speaks. She's the kind of talker. She's the business part of these, you know, this brother and sister team. But she's quiet as well. Maybe check out, I mean, I'm not going to do it now, but check out. Maybe she's on Facebook. Maybe she said something. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a press release somewhere. But you must admit, everyone, this is highly, highly suspicious. And this is the kind of thing that Toby Emmerich would do. Because as you all say, Discovery can't have anything to do with this because it's not legal for them to do so yet. It's like if Andy is removed from this movie, he's getting the blame. But let's be clear here. The little bit we saw looked beautiful, and that's his responsibility because he's not writing the picture. Christina Hodgson has written the picture. It was her responsibility to make the narrative and story of the film awesome, and his responsibility to make it look good. And from that little promo we saw, it looked fantastic. That's his job. So basically, there's over a year, right? So where are we now? March, April, May. That's what, 14 months? 14 months to remake the movie? Why not? It's doable, isn't it? I kept on focusing on the 7 months. So I thought to myself, if they have removed Andy, they'd have to do a Justice League. But this now goes deeper because they've got more time to go back and fix the whole thing. You really believe this movie's been delayed because they don't have enough time to do the VFX? If you do, I respect your opinion. Because I might be wrong and you could be right. And I concede that. But my mind is what it is. I'm a highly paranoid, suspicious person. And I'll be honest with you, through the years, it's kept me in good stead. Because we've seen this before. As I've already said, Wonder Woman 84 being delayed. Why was it delayed? We never knew, did we? We never knew why Wonder Woman 84 was supposed to be released in 2019, was it? And wasn't released to the following year at the end because of the pandemic. They could have released that film pre-pandemic. They didn't, and they lost money because of Toby Emmerich. Imagine if you're David Zaslav and you're interviewing Toby Emmerich and you're asking him, well, look, Toby, what happened with Justice League? Because you're going in there, you're going to ask questions, aren't you? Any responsible CEO would. Well, what happened here, Toby, with Justice League? What happened with Wonder Woman 84? The movie lost money because of the pandemic. Why didn't you damn well release it in 2019? These are the questions I would be asking. Aren't these the questions you would be asking? These would be the questions most half-intelligent people would ask. And my IQ isn't even that high. So if an uneducated idiot like me is asking these questions, I can bet your bottom dollar that David Zaslav is asking these questions too. Or he will when he's legally okay to go in there. So things are developing very interestingly. I don't want Andy Muschietti removed from this movie. But I work off of evidence. And the evidence is that Barbara and Andy Muschietti are on silent mode. And I want to know why, when every other director has commented. Probably, and let's be clear here, you know, James Wan didn't just take to Twitter to comment on this. He was told to. David F. Sandberg makes a joke about the movie being released one time in April and it was set in Christmas and now it's going to be set near Christmas and it's not about Christmas. But he would have been told to do it. Say something, David. Say something funny. Mention it. The Rock is a producer on Black Adam. His company, $9 Productions or whatever it is, $7, who cares what it's called, right? So he wanted to be responsible and respond, but the studio would have told him to as well. So they didn't just respond off the cuff. They were, what do you call it? Damage control, right? It's damage control. It's clear that Anne Sarnoff has connections with Variety because of the Variety hit piece last March of 2021. And it's clear that Toby Emmerich has contacts and connections at Deadline because that's where he's been doing his interviews. This is how it works, boys and girls. If you didn't know that, these people have friends that are journalists that can spin the narrative for them. I know these things. That's why they just happened to mention on Deadline when they reported on the delays. Yeah, rumour has it, word has it, that it's about the VFX. Can you smell something? I smell bullshit. Maybe the people who actually believe the reason these films have been delayed actually believe that it's because of the VFX. Maybe you don't have a good sense of smell. Now, I'm a smoker, so my sense of smell shouldn't be as good as a non-smoker's, but it looks like I've got some kind of metahuman abilities and I can still smell very well. Apparently, you lose your sense of smell once you have COVID. Well, I've had COVID, but I've still got a good sense of smell. So there you have it, everyone. What do you think? Are they going to remove the machetes off of the Flash movie? Comments down below. This video is on a premiere as we speak, so I hope you've been commenting and giving me your reactions. I want to know what you feel about this. Why are the machetes on silent mode? What's going on? Is it that they're just private or they're busy? Why have the other people involved on the other movies responded? I think this is very, very suspicious. So if in the next 24, 48 hours you see something on their social media, please screenshot it and show it to me. But if we don't hear anything in the next 7 days, that's if we don't hear that they've already been removed, something is going on, everyone. Because it's clever, you see. Toby Emmerich and WB haven't officially come out and said it's because VFX, you know, there's a backlog at VFX companies. There's a lot of VFX in The Flash and Aquaman, so we needed more time. They didn't come out and say that officially. They got their friends at Deadline to say, well, word has it, it's because they need more time to do VFX. You see, it's clever because they as a studio haven't said it, but journalist, who is his friend, who is his connection, who's trying to spin the narrative, has said it. So you can't accuse Warner Brothers Pictures of any tomfoolery. It's the cleverest thing in the world, isn't it? There you have it. Let me know what you think. Because at this moment in time, I'm not saying this is definite, but I have a suspicion that there's a chance that Andy Muschietti has been removed as director of the Flash movie. This has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again later with more videos, or maybe when I'm live tonight. Until then, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.